You did everything they told you to do. You woke before the sun. You worked the long shift, then the second one. You were careful with your money. You did not waste it on anything foolish. You kept your head down and your hands moving. And still, at the end of the month, you sit down with the numbers. And the numbers have not moved. That is the part that breaks something in a person. You are not lazy. If you were lazy, at least this would make sense. But you gave it everything. Every hour. Every bit of strength in your back. And you have almost nothing to show for it. So a small, cold question starts to follow you from room to room. What is the point of working this hard if working this hard changes nothing? Let me give you a picture. I think you have been living inside it without knowing. Imagine a man in a long hallway, in the dark, pounding on a door. It is the door he was told his whole life would open for him. So he strikes it until his fists are raw and his voice is gone. And the door does not move. That man is not weak. That man is you and me, and almost everyone I know. And here is what none of us can see in the dark. Behind him, all the way down that long hall, there are other doors. Some of them are standing open. By the end of this, I want you to see the whole hall. Because there is one old line, a single sentence older than your grandparents' grandparents, and it decides where your provision is even allowed to come from. Your bank has never heard it. Your bank cannot measure it. But once you have heard it, this ache you carry stops looking like your failure. It starts to look like something simpler. A man pounding on the wrong door. I will give you the line in a little while. First, I have to name the honest mistake underneath all of this. It is the one nearly every hardworking person makes. Here it is. You have decided that your effort is the source of your provision. That the money comes from the job, from the hours, from you. It is an easy thing to believe because effort and reward usually arrive together. But watch what that belief does to a tired person. If effort is the source, then the only answer to not enough is more. More hours. More strain. Hit the same door harder. And so you do. You throw your whole body at the one door, night after night. And when it still will not open, there is only one conclusion left. The problem must be me. But your effort was never the source. Your effort is a means. It is the hand that knocks. It was never the thing on the far side of the door, deciding whether to open. And all this time, you have poured the whole weight of your worth into something that was only ever a hand knocking. Think again about that hallway. The man throwing himself at the locked door believes it is the only way through. So the pounding turns desperate. It stopped being about the wood a long time ago. It is about one belief, that this door is his only source, that it is failing him, so he must be failing too. And he never turns around. Because turning around in the dark takes trust that the hall is bigger than the one door he can see. So here is the line I promised you. It is in the Quran, in the 65th chapter, the 3rd verse. It says that God will provide for a person from where he does not expect. From where he does not expect. Sit with how strange that is. Not from the door you are breaking your hands against. Not from the raise you keep rehearsing how to ask for. From a door down the hall you have never turned to face. Your provision was never bound to the one channel you exhaust yourself against. Your ruse, the sustenance already set aside for you, was arranged to reach you through doors you do not control. So the whole equation you have lived by, more effort in, more money out, was never the real equation. There was always another way for a door to open. And that should be the most relieving sentence you have heard in a long time. But there is a harder edge to it, and I would be lying if I left it out. Some of those other doors are shut, and you may be the one holding them shut without ever meaning to. There are 3 ways a tired person bolts the very doors his provision was meant to come through. Let me walk you past all 3. The first is the source of what you already earn, not how much, where it comes from. The old teachers were relentless about this one. Money earned through something unclean can pile up and still leave you empty. A lie folded into a deal. A harm you would rather not explain. You bolted the good doors shut to force a bad one open. There is a saying of the prophet, peace be upon him. When 2 people trade in complete honesty, hiding nothing and lying about nothing, their trade is blessed for both of them. Notice where the blessing was tied. Not to the size of the deal. To the honesty. Clean the source, and the doors that were shut against you begin to loosen. The second door you are holding shut is your own expectation. You have narrowed it down to 1. When you picture relief, you picture one channel. This job. This client. This door. So when help knocks from somewhere else, you do not even hear it. An odd offer. A person you overlooked. A path you never planned. You are facing the wrong way, still pounding. Stop deciding in advance which door your provision is allowed to use. The verse did not say from where you expect. It said from where you do not. The third is the tightest of them, and it lives in your 2 hands. You are gripping the outcome. You have decided you must knock, and also that you must force the door, work the hinge, guarantee the result. That grip wears you down more than the labor ever did. There is an old word for the opposite of that grip. Tawakkul. It means handing the outcome back to the one who owns the door. It does not mean stop knocking. It means knock with everything in you and then unclench. Do your part as if it all depends on you. Trust the opening as if it never did. The knocking is yours. The door was never yours to open. Clean the source. Widen the expectation. Loosen the grip. That is how the bolted doors come open. And not one of them by working a single hour harder than you already do. And now, turn around. All this time you believed you were trapped in front of one locked door in an empty hall. You believed the lock was proof of something broken in you. But the hall was never empty. It is full of doors. It always was. You had your back to every one of them, so sure the only way through was the one that refused to give. You were never failing to open the door. You were only facing the wrong one. So here is what I would ask of you this week. not to work less. Hear me on that. Keep your hand on the work. The knocking is still yours. But do 3 quiet things alongside it. Clean the one thing about your source you already know is not clean. You flinched a little when I named it. Begin there. Once each day, widen your expectation on purpose. Say out loud that the answer is allowed to come from somewhere you have not thought of. Then watch for it. And when fear closes your hands around the result, open them and hand the outcome back. Knock as though it is all on you. Rest as though it never was. Do that, and watch what begins to change over the coming months. I cannot promise you a number. No honest person can, and anyone who hands you one is selling you something. But I can tell you what the people who live this way swear by. The hours may not change much at all. The haul will. Provision will begin to arrive. And more often than not, it will come through a door you were not watching, the way that old verse promised. Not because more work broke the door. You always worked hard enough. Because you stopped pounding on the one door long enough to notice the others. So go back to that table. The one with the numbers that never move and your tired hand resting beside them. Nothing about how hard you work was ever the problem. You have stood in a long, dark hall with your back turned to every door but one. And now someone has lit a small lamp and you can see them. Keep knocking. But turn around. Clean the source. Widen what you will accept. Loosen your grip. And the provision that was always meant for you will find you from where you do not expect. Perhaps through a door you will walk past tomorrow without ever knowing it was the answer.